goes to the 2QL in Cincinnati, where we've just seen an absolutely extraordinary match between Mamelodi Sundowns and Borussia Dortmund. Jobe Bellingham, his first start for his new side on the score sheet, but then everybody was. It was a 4-3, 7-goal thriller in Cincinnati. How does it leave the group table? Well, pretty tight, actually, because we've still got one more game to go from this group in the second round of matches. Obviously, Fluminense take on Ulsan. But if they were to win that game, as many people suspect they might, you'd be looking at 3 teams separated by just 1 point, with Mamelodi facing Fluminense on the final set of group games. So that's going to be a very delicate game indeed. Very good. Christian, Vieri, Miguel, John, Obi here with us. That was it.
I want a coffee, eh?
You want a coffee? From Mikel. And you need one as well, Christian.
Yeah, I need about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Matcha latte?
We didn't get the upset that some of us thought we were going to get, but we did get a hugely entertaining a hugely entertaining game, Mikel.
Oh, it was. I mean, listen, Mamelodi Sundowns, you know, they started the game really, really well, controlling the game. This is the first goal here. Got the ball, run through the midfield of Dortmund. And we were sitting there thinking, pass the ball, square it. Well, no, but he went by himself. Here, first touch, control the ball, and just run through the Dortmund midfield. And we were all sitting here thinking, is this going to square it to one of his teammates? No, decided to go by himself, 1-0.
And to this point, they've been the better side, Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yes, they have. They have. They've been the better side. But what happens if you play in these top levels and you make mistakes, you give away passes like that, like we saw from the goalkeeper. They like to play out from the back. But when you make mistakes like that, you definitely get punished.
Yeah, difficult when your keeper makes a mistake like that, although he's been excellent elsewhere. It gets in the other players' heads a little bit, Christian?
It's a pity because they played really good. And they deserved to go 1-0. And if they didn't make those 2 mistakes there in the first half, they could have scored more goals because they had chances. They were playing very, very good.
Let's have a look at the area we're talking about. Ronwen Williams passing out and unfortunately straight to Mecha for Dortmund, who hungrily grabbed the opportunity.
Yeah. But credit to Dortmund as well. They pressed high. And listen, errors come, but you force errors, and that's what happened. Goalkeeper tried to play out from the back and unfortunately made a mistake, and Mecha slots it in 1-0. It's
a pity because the good thing about the South African team is that they want to play from the back. So they're playing European football like everyone's playing all over the world. So that's a good thing about that. It's a pity that he made a mistake there.
All right, at this point, it looked like Dortmund were ready to take control. We had Guirassy adding to his huge goals tally for the season, his 35th strike of this campaign.
Yeah, that's a lot of goals. I mean, there you can see again the press from the mistake, but the press, again, you force mistakes, and that's what they've done there, Dortmund. But the brilliant cross by Brand there to Guirassy. Brilliant header to make it 2-1.
Nice finish on this, Christian.
Yeah, the cross was amazing, but the finish was good, but the cross was perfect. Look at that. First touch. Amazing, amazing.
Is that your kind of goals?
Yep. It used to be, like 30 years ago.
A third goal, again, against the run of play, because it kept looking like Mamelodi were about to find a way back into this. Instead, it was Jobe Bellingham in his first start. What did you make of his game on the whole?
Brilliant debut start. The chest control here, and then the volley. He had an amazing game, of course, and then he won the player of the match. Well deserved. That's something you need, obviously, if you play for your first team, your first start, your debut start. There's no better way to kickstart it by playing so well and winning man of the match.
This is going to be good for his confidence. First game like that starting for Borussia, went there this year, so I think it's really good for him.
If he's a Bellingham, he's probably not short on confidence.
He's good, he's good.
Judging by his...
The parents are happy.
Yeah, they must be. He had a hand in the 4th goal after he came back for the second half. Eventually was given as a Sundown own goal, but he has a part to play in it.
But brilliant piece of play here by Dortmund. They kept moving the ball, and here Jobe Bellingham with the pass and the cross. I think by this time, I think Mamelodi Sundowns, they sort of haven't given up, but you can tell they were a bit frustrated because they were trying to get back into the game, and then this happened. just unfortunate on goal here, deflection.
Yeah, I thought they were going to give up here. On the 4-1, I said, that's it, they're going to get 5-6 goals, but they didn't give up. They kept on playing.
Yeah, plenty more goals to come from that. But let's touch a little bit now on Jobe Bellingham. His big move from Sunderland to Borussia Dortmund, his first start for his new side in this Club World Cup match. What would you say about him? You saw him play in, his last start would have been the playoff final against Sheffield United.
Yeah, where he was very instrumental for Sunderland, you know, winning that game. One thing I like about him, he's very direct. Once he has the ball, he's looking up, he's passing forward. Look at that, running forward. You need that as you know, he wants to arrive at the right time, in the box at the right time. And that's exactly what he did there. The chest control and the volley, you know, he wouldn't have scored this goal if he only passed and stood. No, he passed and then moved forward.
He's going to be scoring a lot of goals this year for Borussia because he's always there. He's always going towards a goal. Yeah. He looks like his brother, but the movements are exactly the same as his brother.
Yeah, well, his brother was a Dortmund player and did brilliantly for them, and it looks like Jobe's well on his way to emulating that. Superior player of the match in this clash with Mamelodi Sundowns, and he spoke to us after.
Jobe Bellingham. Tough match, intense match. How did you have seen the match?
Yeah, it was a really tough game, as you say. Really good opponent there. They were really good. They should be really proud of themselves, and especially in the climate as well. Something we're new to, something we're going to have to adapt to. So yeah, it was a really tough game, but a really important win.
Isn't it a bit too cheesy? Your first game as a starter, you make a really, really important goal. Come on, it's too cheesy.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's a really nice bonus. I'm glad we won, but yeah, there's still a lot of things to improve on for me personally and for the team. A tough game to kickstart our winning form, I guess, in the tournament. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Yeah.
Talk me through your goal. You had the first good touch with your chest, then the bounce perfectly. Is that something you visualize, or just close the eyes and go for it?
To be honest, I've practiced that so many times. Not that exact finish, but like arriving late on the edge of the box as a midfielder is something you need to be really good at. And if you can score, if you can contribute those kind of goals, a certain amount per season, you're doing really well. So yeah, I was really pleased with it because, as I say, it was something that I've practiced as a kid, and at Sunderland I've practiced that so many times, finishing late on the edge of the box after training, during training. So yeah, I am really proud of it.
When you were a substitute, the people were singing, the fans were singing, "Hey Jobe." Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that, no. But yeah, it's nice. It's really nice that the fans, first of all, that they're here to support us. They came in really good numbers today, so yeah, I'm really pleased.
Congratulations.
Thank you, my friend. Cheers.
Yeah, it ain't easy being cheesy, but it is.
What does that mean?
What?
Cheesy.
I think he just meant it was a bit too neat, you know. It's too much of a fairy tale. You make a big move. But he didn't seem particularly fazed by it, no? Just everything's, I come here, do my job, get player of the match, score a goal.
It's good to know that, obviously, he said it there, that he's been practicing that move. And I just said it there. You know, it's easy sometimes for midfielders when you pass the ball and you stand. But no, he wants to arrive late in the box. He wants to be there when the ball drops. Just reminds me of a certain player I played with, Frank Lampard, scored 20 goals every season by arriving there, being there at the right time. I think he's gonna score a lot of goals for Dortmund.
All right, like Frank Lampard, do you think?
I hope so.
Certainly a lot like Jobe Bellingham, and apparently Jobe Bellingham also scored on his debut for Dortmund. Anyway, the game didn't end with that 4-1, even though that looked quite an intimidating scoreline. We'll touch on what Mamelodi did in the second half, and the less. If you've been with us for a while, you know that we've just seen an absolutely blistering afternoon between. I'm so sorry. Featuring the South African champions, Mamelodi Sundowns. Let's hear from their manager, the South African manager, Miguel Cardoso, with Julius Stewart.
Obviously, that the result is not what we wanted, but I think we made a wonderful game. It's important people understand what was in stake in this match, and the level of the team we played against. I think that we worked fantastically on the game. We made a couple of mistakes that turned the game around, put it as losing. But the spirit, the quality, and the values that we grabbed on the hands were so strong that could put us again back on the match. I think the boys made a wonderful performance. I'm very, very happy. Really, it's important that people, mostly in South Africa, to respect what we did here today. It was a hell of a match. And well played, quality played, finishing over them defending, and seeing that it's what highlights the football in South African football. Mamelodi Sundowns, our players, and of course the coaches and myself. I'm not happy, but very proud.
When Level made it 4-3 at the end there very late on, how much more disappointing were those mistakes that you talked about, given that it was then such a close game?
Look, when we play against teams with this level, usually they penalize you very directly and objectively when you make a mistake. Even the first goal we suffered from the second post heading, it's clear that it's one chance, one goal. That's the difference between these teams and us. Because I don't grab just the mistakes we did. Those are not important. Important is how we stood up after those mistakes. It's important is how many chances we created, how many times we arrived in the box. We could have scored second goal. We could have made the 2-1 also. There's just good things we saw in the pitch. Obviously, people will grab the result, but I think losing 4-3 with Borussia Dortmund doesn't make us happy, doesn't make us proud, but makes us understand that we were very competitive in the highest level of football in the world.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very interesting, his analysis there, again, what might have been, and of lessons that have to be learned, I guess, for Mamelodi Sundowns ahead of the clash with Fluminense. They defied expectations at every turn. Just when you thought they were coming back into the game, it slipped away from them. And then at 4-1, when we thought maybe that was it, they came storming back, Mikel.
Yeah, they came storming back there with the free kick, the header. The good thing about this, you know, the first header and then the second header, the reaction to make sure that goes in the back of the net. And we thought, okay, the comeback is there, is alive. But, yeah, they just ran out of time, didn't they? Brilliant header this.
Amazing,
the reaction,
amazing.
yeah.
If they had more time, they could have scored the 4-4, right?
Yeah.
Another 10 minutes or so. Anything could have happened.
So they outshot Dortmund 15-8, so almost twice as many shots for them.
But like the coach said, they had a lot of chances. The problem is that when they make a mistake, it's okay. But when the South Africans make a mistake, they're going to get the goal.
Yeah.
So that's what the coach said. It's the problem about playing these big teams. When you make a mistake, you're going to get caught with the goal. Mind
you, big teams like Borussia Dortmund do have a habit of staging remarkable second-half collapses, and for a while it looked like maybe this was going to be another of those when Mamelodi brought it back to 4-3.
Yeah, they brought it back to 4-3, and that's exactly when we thought, okay, hold on a minute, the game is not over. They kept on pressing here, nicked the ball, great pressing. What a finish this was by Motiba, I think, that's just come on. So then we thought, okay, the game is still on. Yeah, there, just onside. And what great finish, slots it in. 4-3 this was.
But what an amazing South African team, man. I didn't think they were going to play this good and create so many chances.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And the coach is happy, said, I'm disappointed for the result, but I'm happy the way the team played.
Yeah, and you can see them being competitive against Fluminense. If they play like this.
100%, but they're going to play like this. They're going to play like this. Why shouldn't they play like this? That's how they are. They win in South Africa, and I think that they're going to get a good experience playing this tournament. I think it's going to do really good for them.
Yeah, they will be. I mean, the way they're playing, attacking, going forward, they weren't scared of anything. You know, they kept on going. So many. Yeah, they committed a lot of bodies up front. You know, they kept on going here again. And we thought sometimes Ribeiro was a little bit too selfish here. Maybe just, you know, score it for one of his teammates, but no, he couldn't. This again, free kick. They had so many chances to equalize this game, at least to get a draw.
Would have been fair?
I think a draw would have been fair because of the way they played, you know, the bravery, the way they approached the game. And, you know, I don't think they should be anywhere disappointed. No, they played really well. They've got one more game to go.
Yeah.
They should believe that they can still beat Fluminense and go into that game having the belief that they can still do it.
They're only a point behind Borussia Dortmund. If there are positives for Mamelodi, even in defeat, there are one or two negatives perhaps for Nikokovic and Dortmund, even with that victory, the way that they allowed the South Africans to come back.
Yeah, they gave too many chances. I don't know, maybe they're tired of the season they had, but it's not about the Borussia. I think that the South African team just played better. More pressure, 95 minutes, they pressured the team, they created chances, they made some errors and they got hit with the errors, but they played fantastic until the 95th minute. Even on when they were 4-1, like you're going to say they're going to get the 5th and the 6th. That didn't happen. They came back, went to 4-3. And maybe if they had another couple of minutes, it could have been 4-4. I think that the draw would have been good for them.
The Fluminense game is going to be huge. Who's going to get out of the group, do you think, Mikel?
I hope Mamelodi can do it. I hope they can be able to beat Fluminense, and then we can see an African, club make it to the next round.
All right, very good. Well, that was it then for the TQL Stadium in Cincinnati's clash between Borussia Dortmund and Mamelodi Sundowns. Coming up very, very short.